Hi guys, this is Connie, back for another episode of Connie Reads Another Fine Myth. Chapter 20. A quote. With the proper consideration and choice of allies, victory may be guaranteed in any conflict. A quote by B. Arnold. Get 'em, Gleep, I barked. The dragon bounded into action, a move which I think surprised me more than it did my assailants. It leaped between me and the advancing rat pack and crouched there, hissing menacingly. His tail gave a mighty lash which nearly swept the legs out from under two of the flanking members of the party. Somehow he seemed much bigger when he was mad. "Watch out, he's got a dragon," the leader called. "Thanks for the warning," one of the fallen men growled, struggling to regain his feet. "I've got him," came a voice from my left. I turned just in time to see a foot-long dagger flashing through the air at the dragon's neck. My dragon! Suddenly, I was back at the practice sessions. My mind darted out and grabbed the knife. It jerked to a halt in midair and hovered there. "Nice move, handsome," the girl called. "Hey, the shrimp's a magician!" The pack fell back a few steps. "That's right," I barked. "Skeev's the name. Magic's the game. What kind of clod do you think you're dealing with?" With that, I brought the dagger down, swooping it back and forth through their formation. I was mad now. One of these louts had tried to kill my dragon. "A dozen of you isn't enough," I shouted. "Go back and get some friends, if you have any." I cast about desperately for something else to throw. My eyes fell on the dung heap. I smiled to myself, despite my anger. Why not? In a moment, I had great gobs of dung hurling through the air at my assailants. My accuracy wasn't the best, but it was good enough, as the outraged howls testified. "Levitation!" the leader bawled. "Quanto, stop him!" "Right, boss." One of the pluglies waved in affirmation and started rummaging through his belt pouch. He had made a mistake identifying himself. I didn't know what he was about to come up with, but I was sure I didn't want to wait to find out. "Stop him, Gleep!" I ordered, pointing to the victim. The dragon raised his head and fixed his gaze on the fumbling brigand. With a sound that might have been a roar if he were older, he shot a stream of fire and charged. It wasn't much of a stream of flame, and it missed to boot, but it was enough to get the brigand's attention. He looked up to see a mountain of dragon flesh bearing down on him, and he panicked. Without pausing to call to his comrades, he spun and ran off, screaming with the dragon in hot pursuit. "Okay, Shrimp, let's see you stop this." I jerked my attention back to the leader. He was standing now, confidently holding aloft a stick. Yesterday, it wouldn't have fazed me, but knowing what I did now, I froze. I didn't know what model it was, but apparently the leader was confident in its powers would surpass my own. He grinned evilly and slowly began to level the stick at me. I tried desperately to think of a defense, but I couldn't. I didn't even know what I was supposed to be defending against. Suddenly, something flashed across my line of vision, and the stick was gone. I blinked and looked again. The stick was lying on the ground, split by a throwing knife, a black-handled throwing knife. "Any trouble here, Master Skeeve?" a voice boomed. I spun toward the source of the voice. Oz was standing there, cocked crossbow level at the pack. He was grinning broadly, which I had mentioned before is not that comforting to anyone who doesn't know him. "A pervert!" the leader gasped. "What?" Oz swung the crossbow toward him. I mean a pervect," the leader amused hastily. "That's better. How about it, Skeeve? You want 'em dead or running?" I looked at the rat pack. Without breaking their frozen tableau, they pleaded with me with their eyes. Running, I think," I said thoughtfully. "They smell bad enough alive. Dead, they might give the bazaar a bad name." "You heard him," Oz growled. "Move!" They disappeared like they had melted into the ground. "Oz!" The girl came flying forward to throw her arms around him. "Tanda?" Oz exclaimed, lowering the crossbow. "Are you mixed up with that pack?" "Are you kidding? I'm the bait," she winked bawdly. "Little low class for you, isn't it?" "Ah, it's a living." "Why'd you leave the assassins?" "Got tired of paying union dues." Harumph." Harumph?" I interrupted. Oz looked around. "Oh, sorry, kid. Say, have you two met?" "Sort of," the girl acknowledged. "We Say, is this the friend you were looking for, Handsome? Handsome? Oz wrinkled his nose. Well, yes, I admitted. We got separated back by the... Handsome? Oz repeated. Oh, hush, the girl commanded, slapping his stomach playfully. I like him. He's got style. Actually, I don't believe we've met formally, I said, giving my most winning smile. My name is Skeeve. Well, la-dee-da, Oz grumbled. Ignore him. I'm Tananda, but they call me Tonda. Love to, I leered. If you two are quite enough, Oz interrupted, I have a couple of questions. Gleep, said the dragon, prancing up to our assemblage. What's that? Oz demanded. It's a dragon, I said helpfully. Tonda giggled rudely. I know that, Oz barked. I mean, what is he doing here? Suddenly, I was hesitant to supply the whole story. There are lots of dragons at the bazaar, Oz, I mumbled, not looking at him. In fact, there's a stall just down that way, then. What is that dragon doing here? Gleep, said the dragon, rubbing his head against my chest. He's mine, I admitted. Yours? Oz bellowed. I told you to look at the dragons, not buy one. But, Oz, what are we going to do with the dragon? I got a good deal on him, I chimed hopefully. What did you say, kid? I said I got a good deal. From a devil? Oh, I see what you mean. Come on, let's have it. What were the terms of this fantastic deal? Well, that is, out with it. I traded Quigley's pendant for him. Quigley's pendant, the one that sees through spells? You traded a good magical pendant for a half-grown dragon? Oh, give him a break, Oz, Tonda interrupted. What do you expect, letting him wander off alone that way? You're lucky he didn't get stuck with half the tourist crowd on Deva. Where were you all this time, anyway? Well, I was, Don't tell me, she said, holding up a hand. If I know you, you were either chasing a girl or stuffing your face, right? She's got you there, Oz, I commented. Shut up, kid. So, don't get down on Skeeve here. Compared to what could have happened to him, he didn't do half bad. How'd you find us, anyway? I listened for the sounds of a fight and followed it, Oz admitted. See? You were expecting him to get into trouble. Might I point out, he was doing just fine before you barged in. He and his dragon had those thugs treed all by themselves. He's pretty handy with that magic, you know. I know, Oz responded proudly. I taught him. Gee, thanks, Oz. Shut up, kid. Gleep, said the dragon, craning his neck around to look at Oz upside down. A dragon, huh? Oz said, studying the dragon more thoughtfully. He might help us against Istvan, I suggested hopefully. Istvan? Tonda asked quizzically. Yeah, Oz replied. You remember him, don't you? Well, he's up to his old tricks, this time on Claw. So that's what's going on, huh? Well, what are we going to do about it? We? I asked, surprised. Sure, she smiled. This racket is a bit low class. Like Oz says, I might as well tag along with you two for a while. If you don't mind, that is. Terrific, I said, and I meant it for a change. Not so fast, Tonda, Oz cautioned. There are a few details you haven't been filled in on yet. Such as? Such as I've lost my powers. No foolin'. Gee, that's tough. That means we'll be relying on the kid here to give us cover in the magic department. All the more reason for me to come along. I've picked up a few tricks myself. I know, Oz leered. Not like that, she said, punching him in the side. I mean magic tricks. Even so, it's not going to be easy. Come on, Oz, Tonda chided. Are you trying to say it wouldn't be helpful having a trained assassin on your side? Well, it could give us a bit of an advantage, Oz admitted. Good. Then it's settled. What do we do first? There's some stalls just around the corner that carry weapons, I suggested. We could... Relax, kid. I've already taken care of that. You have? I asked, surprised. Yeah, I just found what we need over in the practical jokes section. I was just looking for you before we headed back. Then we're ready to go? Tonda asked. Yep, Oz nodded, fishing the D-hopper out of his shirt. What about my dragon? What about him? Are we going to take him with us? Of course we're going to take him with us. We don't leave anything of value behind. Gleep, said the dragon. And he must be valuable to someone, Oz finished, glaring at the dragon. He pressed the button on the D-hopper. The bazaar wavered and faded, and we were back in Frumple's shop. Sort of. Interesting place you've got here, Tonda commented dryly. Did you do the decor? All that was left of Frumple's shop was a burnt-out shell. Whoa. And that's the end of chapter 20. I will see you on Monday with the next installment. Be careful with that and enjoy. Please and thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.